Nina, you see boats?
And this ear.
Is that Nina's boat?
Yeah, it's like hot, hot. Is this ear hot, hot, hot?
No.
It feels hot, hot, hot. Gushy? Right there? It is gushy. Why?
Right there.
Right there. Sailboats. Yeah, I think somebody's ringing to make sure to know that we're leaving. You see, that lady is waiting. Not unusual. That's a runner's wife.
Come on, I'll try to give you some shade.
Huh?
Try to give you some shade.
Oh, you saw this on a helicopter ride?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, very nice. Oh, okay. But you saw fields, very good.
Yeah.
And there's some you'll see as we go. There are some people up there pedaling on the surfboards. They're doing. I just saw them. As we get closer, we'll see them. Yeah. That's kind of exercise, and it's fun to some people. Maybe when we are older, or you're older, what happened to the water? What does it happen? What happens to the water? Low tide and high tide. And what is now? Why it's low? Because all water is gone. Yeah? It means that water retreats to the ocean.
Wave.
Yeah, those are in the kayaks. Kayaks are little tiny boats that you're sailing in. Yeah? Okay. And you paddle them. Yeah.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome aboard the Holiday. I'd like to introduce your crew to you. My name is Captain Mark Maurer of Hilton Head Island. Been a full-time resident of Hilton Head now 37 years. It's kind of hard to believe when I think back on that sometimes, but unfortunately the calendar does not lie. My wife Lori and I raised 3 daughters in a house about a mile from the beach. Seems like that's all the closer we could ever afford, but I guess a mile is close enough, especially during hurricane season. Don't think you'd like to be on the beach during a hurricane. Lori and I were actually music majors at Florida State University in Tallahassee during the late 70s, going old. She was music education, I was music composition. I was playing electric bass in the FSU Jazz Band, and she was the featured vocalist that year. And first time I heard her sing, I said to myself, oh, I got to have that voice in my house. 6 months later, she proposed to me. True story. Well, we eventually got out of college, and guess what? Needed a job. My mom and dad had sold their boat business in Fort Myers, Florida, and bought an existing boat business up here on Hilton Head at Harbor Town while I was at Florida State. So when I got out, I asked Dad for a job, and he said, get your license and come on up. So here we are, 37 years later. Seems like it was just yesterday we were starting out. I worked for my dad at Harbor Town the first 4 years we were on the island, from 79 to 83, and then when Shelter Cove opened in 83, we got the contract for the big boat there and expanded the business into Shelter Cove. Had the first boat inside the marina and the first business to open up. And I ran my first sightseeing cruise out of Shelter Cove on March 31st, 1983. And while we have not kept track of the exact number of cruises I've conducted since moving to Hilton Head in 79, we do feel very confident that I'm closing in on 20,000. So been at it a while. A couple of years ago, I started calling myself the Cal Ripken Jr. of the Dolphin Cruise business. Anyway, that's a little bit of my story. People were always asking me, Captain Mark, how'd you get into this business? Finally, one day, I just decided to make the answer part of the routine. Deckhand on tonight's trip is Cody's staff. As soon as Cody gets the line stowed away, he'll be set up downstairs at the snack bar. If anybody does get hungry or thirsty on tonight's cruise, snack bar is located on the lower deck inside the cabin. A word of caution, as you enter and exit the snack bar area, you do have a 4-inch high threshold to negotiate. So step high going into the snack bar, step high coming back out. And just as a general rule, please be careful moving about the boat today. And I do encourage everyone to move about the boat today. Just please be careful. Watch your steps. Trip hazards are everywhere. Remember always that you're on a boat. And just happened to glance over to the right, and a bottlenose dolphin popped up. So we'll circle back around, and hopefully it will keep surfacing for us. Keep in mind that the bottlenose dolphin is an air-breathing marine mammal. They must surface periodically for a breath of air, or they would drown. They can stay under for as long as 7 to 10 minutes if they absolutely had to, but around here they don't have to, so we usually see them a little more often than that. Occasionally they'll take a dive to the bottom, then it might be a minute or two, but never more than a couple of minutes.
Did you see it there?
There it is, up again, over to the right. Mine's 3 o'clock, about 35 yards.
Okay, over the shore.
Single one all by itself like that's almost always a male. Back here in the estuary, the males tend to go off by themselves. If we do manage to see 2 or more together, that's called a pod, and it's going to be females with babies and juveniles.
Absolutely.
Contrary to popular opinion, bottlenose dolphins are not monogamous, and the male does not hang around to help raise the baby. That one's over there, just under the surface. You can see the surface rising.
Did you see it now?
As he's rushing around trying to catch bait fish. There's a school of bait fish over there close by.
Nina, did you see the dolphin?
It's up this way.
Full-grown dolphin will consume 40 to 50 pounds of fish and shrimp on a daily basis, and they pretty much eat all day and all night long. Pretty much because they have to. From the time they're born to the time they die, they swim 24/7, 365. 366 in the leap year. Constantly on the hunt for something to eat. They're just as active in the middle of the night as they are in the middle of the day.
To breed, yeah. They come out, little tiny breeding. It's fast. Yeah, maybe we'll see some more.
Back up to it, so over to our left off the port bow. bucket of fish along on these trips to feed the dolphins, and they'd come right up beside the boat, take the fish gently out of your hand. Everybody got a turn. Unfortunately, in the late 80s, animal anywhere in the U.S., so that includes the bottlenose dolphins of the east and Gulf Coast, as well as the sea lions, walruses, otters, and seals that they have out on the west coast, Hawaii, and up in Alaska.
I see the water doing something. Oh!
Yeah, it's dolphin.
Brown pelican coming past us there on the left side. That's the largest bird overall in the Hilton Head vicinity, with a wingspan that averages 7 feet. Brown pelican.
He's coming. Right there. It's not shark, it's dolphin. Dolphin, yeah, it's dolphin. Boo.
And does dolphin still say ha ha? Ha ha!
Shark. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to see them back there. I think he's going to turn around. Yeah.
So you can get a good view.
Yeah, he was turning around so we can all see it. Okay, let's go back this way and maybe we can
I think it's a marker to tell boats don't go closer than that because it's shallow. Because if you go that close, you'll get stuck.
There he is. Who is that? Dolphin. Good. Amber. Yeah, very good. That was fun. Dolphin watching. You can still watch. It's okay. Right here. Where he's going to come over here.
I wish I was a dolphin.
Say bye-bye, dolphin.
Bye, dolphin.
Bye, dolphin. Okay, maybe we'll see some more. I don't know. We'll have to watch. But that was fun. Was that fun? Yeah.
Hey, I just saw a fish.
Yeah. Did it jump out?
Well, lots more things to see and talk about, so we will get on with it and hopefully encounter a few more dolphins before the cruise is over. Deckhand tonight is Cody's staff. As soon as Cody gets the line stowed away, he'll be set up downstairs at the snack bar. If anybody does get hungry or thirsty on tonight's cruise, snack bar is located on the lower deck inside the cabin. Please watch your step entering and exiting the snack bar area. Something new at the snack bar this year, Captain Mark's Dolphin Cruise t-shirts. Got 8 different sizes and 9 fun colors, and I do believe I've got the least expensive custom t-shirt on the island, just $14 each plus tax. So check out the tees whenever you go down there to get your cold bottle of water, soda pop, snack, or candy item. And again, my name is Captain Mark. Your deckhand tonight is Cody. You're on board the Holiday.
Look
Snack
at
bar's
there.
on the lower deck
Kayaking
inside
back
the
there.
cabin.
Sierra?
We have left the marina at Shelter Cove and are now cruising on Broad Creek. If you've ever had the opportunity to look at a chart or possibly a map of Hilton Head, you've noticed that Broad Creek runs right up through the middle of Hilton Head and just about cuts the island in half. So right here we do have Hilton Head on both sides of the boat. This part of Hilton Head to our left, located between us and the Atlantic Ocean. The part to our right lies between us and the bridge back over to the mainland. You may have heard the locals talk about the north end of the island or the south end of the island. Well, it is Broad Creek here that makes the division. Everything to the left is South Island. Everything to the right, obviously, then is North Island. Hilton Head Island is a part of Beaufort County, South Carolina. There are about 70 named major islands in the county. Hilton Head is the largest. Scenery, one of our local landscape and nursery companies. Once again, Long Cove Club to the left. Coming out on tonight's cruise about an hour past low tide. The water in the creek is currently rising, but has not risen high enough yet to cover up the oyster beds that grow in the marsh. Looking to the left and right, the dark brown mounds of shell that you see all back in through the marsh there are beds of live oysters. And as the tide continues to rise, they will eventually become submerged. The oysters in this area live in what is called the intertidal zone, and that's the area between high tide and low tide. So that means on high tide, the oysters are underwater, and on low tide, they are out of the water, and again, that's called the intertidal zone. Beaufort County here has the largest percentage of saltwater marshes of all the coastal counties in the state of South Carolina. And we still supply over half the total number of oysters harvested in the state during the commercial season, which runs from the beginning of October, all during the winter, through to the end of the following April. Oysters are best when harvested at a time of year when the water temperature is at its coolest, generally below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I do love my low country oysters, long about mid-January, outside, early evening, air temperature about 55. That is still good right now. Roasted over an open fire on a Salt King cracker with some hot sauce and horseradish. It's an island, but still just a fifth the size of Hilton Head. Roughly 5,000 acres on Defusky versus 25,000 acres on Hilton Head. Defusky Island is under development today. The important thing to remember about residential development taking place on Defusky is the fact there's no bridge to the island. All construction material and heavy equipment is carried over there on barges, and people ride back and forth on passenger ferry boats. So that's a little bit about Defusky. Straight ahead. At Tybee, the distance in your car would be about 65 miles, but only 8 as the crow flies. You're wondering about all the dredging equipment over here. It actually all just showed up 2 weeks ago today. Apparently we have begun our latest beach renourishment project. Depending on the number of storms that we get through the area, the beaches on Hilton Head have to be resanded every 5 to 7 years. So they got a big old dredge offshore a few miles, digging up, cutting up the ocean floor, pumping all the sand up onto the beaches of Hilton Head with a couple graders and bulldozers will level them all out nice and smooth.
He said those machines.
In about 4 to 5 months, we'll have a new beach on Hilton Head.
That means to
For the
pull sand off the bottom of the
they
floor,
always
pump
start
it
the
up on the shore
project
so
this
we have
time
a
of
nice
year,
beach.
middle of summer, so that they can be finished by the winter. pelican is the largest bird in the Hilton Head vicinity with a wingspan that averages 7 feet, the brown pelican. Perhaps you've heard this poem about the pelican. It goes, "A wondrous bird is the pelican. His beak can hold more than his belly can. He can take in his beak enough food for a week, and I'll be darned if I know how the hell he can."
Looks like it's been drifting in the water.
I think it's anchored to the bottom. I think that's the.
Well, time to try to ride ahead back to the dock. This will conclude the narration for this portion of the cruise. I do hope I have talked about everything so far that has been of interest to anyone. But if I have, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'll be quite happy to answer any questions that you might have. Also, continue to keep an eye out for dolphins. Got a pretty good looking sunset taking place tonight. Sun's going to be down in the next 4 or 5 minutes, so anybody wants a sunset picture, now's the time to do it.
Whoops.
You like sunsets?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Quack.
Annie. Look at, she's eyeballing you.
She is eyeballing me. Quit it, Gassy. I'm scared. You're a scary bird.
You're like, I like you. She's eyeballing you. Look at her still eyeballing you.
She is still eyeballing.
Now she's like, I like you.
Peck, 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 peck. Peck, 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 peck. This is a pecking camera. Ooh, that's a mean duck. Scary duck. Ooh, we have to watch that on TV later. I bet that'll look scary. Gussie's eyeball will look huge on TV when we watch the video.
Look at Yossie's eye.
Creepy duck. Let's make your eye. Let's get a shot of your eye really big so we can see it on TV.
Yossie likes her eye big.
Ooh. Let's get a up close shot of your eye so we can see it big on TV. Why not? Ooh, that'll be funny.
How funny.
It'll be funny when we see it big on TV.
Oh, peanut bird? Or peanut bird?
Is she putting her nose in the camera?
She is.
She likes her nose.
Oh, okay.
Cassie,
Take a video of the eye, guys.
look at that. Crazy eye. Look, there's some birds.
Bird, go!
Ava, is that pretty? And look at those little fluffy clouds that are turning pink on this side. Are they turning pink? These, you see them up there? They're turning pink. I don't know, from the sun.
Look at the moon.
Oh, there's a moon.
She's trying to get her eye. Did you see her eye?
No,
You
I just see her crazy fur. Crazy feathers. There's her eye.
She gonna try to find her eye.
There it is. There's those crazy eyes.
You're gonna try to hold her up. She's eyeballing you.
She is. She's a scary duck.
How does it look like? Can you show me how it looks like?
me that duck. Bad duck.